It's pretty common to do some pre-cruise shopping to prepare yourself for your sailing, but could you really get everything you need from a dollar store? I wanted to try it out after seeing a lot of people talk about this travel hack as a way to not only get the things you need for your cruise, but also save some money. When it comes to going on a cruise, a lot is included, but you're going to need inevitably some other things. Some things make your cruise better, some things are things you absolutely need, and others are just simply nice to have. Recently, I took a roller coaster cruise on Utopia of the Seas to the Bahamas for 4 nights, and I wanted to put this to the test. Could I really go to the dollar store, get things that would really make my cruise better, and ultimately save some money? When I usually buy things for my cruise, I'm almost always buying them from like Amazon. Or maybe my wife is going to Target when she's already going there for other things and pick some things up. The only problem with Amazon, Target, and other normal stores, let's call that, is that you're going to pay a little bit more for these items. I mean, they might be name brand, they might be higher quality, but you're going to pay probably more for them. But at a dollar store, even at dollar stores that aren't actually a dollar anymore, ultimately you might find some really good deals out there, so I wanted to put this to the test. So I came up with a list of 15 things that I wanted to buy at the dollar store for my cruise, and 2 things you shouldn't buy for your cruise on the dollar store. Let's start with number 1, and that is tissues. So there are tissues in your cabin on every single roller coaster cruise. Usually the box of tissues is either hidden in one of the drawers by the vanity, or sometimes it's actually in your stateroom bathroom. Now there's nothing wrong with these tissues other than the fact they're pretty low quality. It's not quite sandpaper, but they're pretty rough. So buying tissues, and maybe Kleenex brand or a knockoff brand of those, is just going to be a better experience overall, because not only can these tissues be used on your cruise, you can use them really anywhere in your daily life. And the nice thing about the dollar store is they have those tissues you can put in your purse or in your pocket in a bag, and you get like a whole 6-pack for like $1. It's a great deal. Number 2 is the dry erase board, and I'm almost laughing at this because it was a good idea until it wasn't a good idea. So dry erase boards are a really fun way that a lot of people get to stay in communication with people on their cruise. Goes back to the years before like internet was really prevalent and affordable and iPhones and all that. Ultimately, when you're on a cruise, you want to communicate with people that are in your room. But what if you're at the pool deck and someone else that's in your room is having dinner, or they're at a party or something? How do you communicate with them and let them know what's going on? An easy way is a dry erase board, and they do sell them at dollar stores. They're very cheap, but they're good for like 1 cruise. And the idea is simple. Put it on your door, and there's this dry erase marker, and you can put on there, hey, I'm going to this thing, or meet us at this at 5 o'clock, something like that. But you can also use them for fun things. And I've seen a lot of people use them in a fun way, because you could use it to put encouraging comments, share in the celebrations, and even ask questions. And I thought, well, I'll do that too. And the first time I did it, it was great because I asked people what their favorite drink was, and I got a lot of great answers. But pretty soon into the cruise, by day 2, it was mostly being used by random people, probably teenagers, to deface it and otherwise just make silly comments on it. Nothing terrible or obscene, but just like the 6'7" meme really is very strong with America's youth. If you don't know about this meme, it's all the rage among the sub 18-year-olds in the world, where you just say 6'7", it's a meme, you can look it up. Anyway, it just became what everybody was writing on there. And then actually, on the last day, someone stole my dry erase marker. So I guess having a dry erase board isn't a bad idea, but maybe keep it on the inside of your door to share messages with people that are staying in your cabin. Number 3 is a really cool idea I got from Ilana from Life Well Cruised over on YouTube. Check out her channel. And that is to get a pencil case. And I thought, well, this is really weird. Why would you want that? But actually, it makes for a really good de facto document holder. I mean, somewhere to put your cash, your passports, IDs, anything else you need that's like really critical, but you want to keep it all in one place and easily grabbable. That's what the pencil case comes into. And it works perfectly. The one that she had was like a completely see-through case. Mine was like partially see-through, but it does make it easier to keep everything together. Not have to dig for documents, or where did I put the passport versus where did I put my driver's license, and any other paperwork or things you want to keep handy. So that's a really neat idea for $1. Sure, I'll go for it. Next up was a travel size toothbrush and toothpaste. And yeah, this is a critical thing. I mean, you definitely want to be brushing your teeth. And when it comes to cruising, it is a lot easier to just bring a travel size toothbrush, maybe a disposable one that you're only going to use for that one sailing. And of course, a smaller toothpaste, because probably the one at home is pretty large. You want to cut down on, the amount of space you need. And having travel size toiletries really does make a difference. And you can find them at a dollar store. And honestly, it's basically the same difference as you might find at a Target or Amazon. Again, the name brand being the biggest difference. But if you don't care about that, the dollar store is really great for it. Next up was a shower travel kit. So this is actually, I think, an idea or a way to still use your name brand favorite type of shampoo, body wash, and conditioner, but without having to necessarily find a travel size version of it, you buy these shower travel kits. They're just basically smaller containers you can squeeze your favorite shampoo or body wash into and then bring on the cruise. This actually makes a lot of sense because you can get a much better deal in general when you buy things in bulk or in bigger sizes, right? You go to Costco, get your favorite shampoo, and then put a little bit into these travel size containers and you're good to go. So this one does work. It does require some more work on your part to actually, prep it before your cruise and then clean it when you get home. But I mean, it will probably be better, especially if you are very much adherent to certain, name brands, your favorite kind. That's really, really important. Something else that I do swear by is bringing your own medicine on board. Nobody wants to think about getting sick on a cruise, but it can happen. Maybe you have a hangover. Maybe you ate something that doesn't agree with your stomach, and maybe even you get a cold or a virus on board and it just makes you feel not so great. Having your own medicine is a huge game changer because it allows you, first of all, to quickly take something easily and be able to get it for a good deal. Royal Caribbean does sell over-the-counter medication like Tylenol and Imodium, but you're going to pay top dollar for it and way more than you'd pay even at a regular grocery store. But here at a dollar store, it's significantly cheaper because it's a dollar. And again, most are off-brand, although I did see some name brand stuff in here, but it works. It's a lot cheaper and you should absolutely bring some travel medication with you just in case. My recommendations are something for upset stomach, something for a headache, something to reduce fever, and coughing control of some kind. Next up are wipes, and getting wipes for your room in order to, wipe everything down while you first get in there is actually not a terrible idea. I personally don't do this a lot because I think, first of all, Royal Caribbean does a pretty good job of cleaning cabins in between cruises. And I'm also not that level of germaphobe that I need to wipe every surface down before I use it. But it is nice having those wipes in here in order to, just cleanse things. Or if you're not sure, maybe you're on a ship that's been around for, 15 or 20 years and, you just would feel better about wiping down a table or surface, especially if you have younger kids who don't have that great personal hygiene. Well, then this might be a really good idea for you. Next up on my list, something that everybody should use. It's awkward, but we're going to talk about it, and that is Poo-Pourri. Let's be real. Everybody's going to use the bathroom on your cruise, and you can all swear up and down you're going to use public bathrooms for number 2, but in reality, when nature calls, you're going to use your own stateroom. The issue is there's no fan in your bathroom in order to clear the air, so to speak. But Poo-Pourri and other knockoff brands really do work well. Basically, you spray it. You're supposed to spray it before you go to the bathroom. You could do it afterwards, but it definitely helps mask and eliminate the odors in your stateroom, bathroom. I will swear by this one. It works really well. The one I bought was rather large. I mean, you probably could have used it for a month or two, but that being said, it was effective, and I do recommend getting Poo-Pourri or some other knockoff brand because it does make a difference. Next up is a collapsible storage container. I was leery of this idea. I was like, does this really work? But the idea here is you buy one of these collapsible storage containers and you put your shoes in them. And while I wasn't sure how well it would work in reality, but once I started using it, I was really sold on the idea because I'm all about not having things just strewn around the cabin. And shoes are probably the first thing that gets dumped everywhere. You walk in your cabin, kick them off, and you're on your own, right? And then by day 3, you've got one shoe here, one shoe there. Anyway, having a central place for shoes is a really good idea, and I love this one. Something else on my list was liquid hand soap, and even before I did this video, I've been bringing liquid hand soap on for years. It is so much easier to have liquid hand soap than the bar. So Royal Caribbean provides a bar of soap in your cabin, but it's just cumbersome, and also it doesn't leave my hands feeling great. It always dries them out. Liquid hand soap is really worth getting because it makes it simpler and easier to wash your hands, especially for young kids, and even for adults, it's just quicker and faster. So I love liquid hand soap. Definitely a must buy. Something else on my list, which is, a travel size option, is deodorant. Yes, you should be wearing deodorant every single day of your cruise. You're welcome, everybody. I packed my own here. But yes, deodorant is a great thing to get at a dollar store because I'm of the opinion they're all the same. It's just, whichever scent you're interested in. But getting deodorant at a dollar store will save you money compared to the name brand stuff elsewhere. Also, it's a really good idea to get sunscreen because when you're going to these warm destinations like the Caribbean, and in my case, I was in the Bahamas, it's going to be hot. The sun's going to be shining, and the chance of getting sunburn is real. I mean, you can get sunburn within just a few minutes of being outside. Having sunscreen is a must buy. You cannot subscribe to the theory you don't need it or you're not going to be out there. I mean, it's amazing how quickly you can get sunburned, even just walking down the pier of Perfect Day at Coco Cay. It's enough to really get your skin going. So it's a really good idea to get sunscreen. And lastly, we have stain wipes because inevitably, when you're eating spaghetti bolognese in the main dining room like I do, as much as I do, you're going to spill it on yourself. Splatter from spaghetti sauce and other chocolates and sauces and everything like that It happens all the time. Despite however old I am now, I'm still like a child and I spill food on me all the time. Usually we have a stain pen that you can like blot with it, but in the case of the dollar store, they actually had stain wipes. Same basic idea. There's just a different way to apply it. And this really could be the difference between saving your garments and making sure there isn't a stain forever and ultimately ruining it. Now, one thing I had on my list that they didn't have were magnets. I mean, they had some magnets, but they didn't have like heavy duty magnets. We've talked a lot in this channel about bringing heavy duty magnets to keep things off the floor. Use this for hats and garments and jackets and other things, but they only had like lightweight magnets for like pieces of paper. So not very useful for a cruise, but I would recommend that you do get magnets for your cabin. It really can make a big difference in keeping your room cleaner and more organized. And you can easily find these on Amazon. So for now, it's definitely about my Amazon list, not my dollar store list. But there were two things that the dollar store did have that I don't recommend getting. First of all, is an outlet extender. So they have outlet extenders, and I like outlet extenders, except that Royal Caribbean doesn't allow them all on their ships. Royal Caribbean recently changed the rules to prohibit outlet extenders that have more than one electrical outlet in there. The amount of USB is irrelevant, it's totally fine, but you can't have more than one AC outlet. And almost all the outlet extenders I did see in the dollar store had more than one AC outlet because they're meant for like daily life, not for a cruise ship. So if you're going to get an outlet extender, make sure you have the right one. But in the case of this dollar store, this would have been a mistake to buy because it would have been confiscated and given back to you at the end of the cruise. And then I also have on my list not to buy the over-the-door organizers. So a lot of people like these, and this has been a tip around for many years, where you get a shoe organizer or an over-the-door organizer, put it over the back of your stateroom bathroom, and you have more storage space. I guess it works if you have a lot of stuff. Maybe you're traveling with like kids, and they got a lot of junk, and it helps clear up some of the space on the counter. I just ultimately didn't love them because most of them, especially the ones in the dollar store that are very cheap, they're flimsy, and they flail all around. They get caught in the door when you're closing it. I just don't think it saves you that much space or does that good of a job for you, and ultimately gets more in the way, so I'm not a big fan of them. But overall, you really can find a lot of things at the dollar store that work well. I mean, to be honest with all of you, because I'm a geek, I'll probably still end up buying most of my things on Amazon because I'm already on my computer and it's just easier and more convenient to do so. But you will absolutely save money if you do this at the dollar store compared to probably Amazon. In my case, I got all my things for $21.94, and that was with tax, by the way. I seriously doubt I'd be able to get the 13 items that I ultimately bought at the dollar store on Amazon for less than that price. So basically, I wouldn't go out of my way for the dollar store, but inevitably, I think in most daily lives, you're going to go near one. You're going to go to one other store, and then you see the dollar store in the same shopping center. Maybe that's your opportunity to buy something for your cruise and make it that much better. Let me know in the comments below. Do you shop for your cruise at the dollar store? And if so, what are your must-buys? And if there's anything on my list that should have been added on here, let me know in the comments below. While you're down below our video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. That way, YouTube lets you know we have a brand new video to share. This has been Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we'll talk again real soon.